Hello everybody and welcome to the August full moon ritual entitled Working with Our Shadow Self by Amber Mackenzie, which we are doing for the August full moon 2026. Obviously this is the tutorial, so I'll be going through the ritual worksheet, which is here, and taking you through the steps one by one. So let's start with explaining what this ritual is written all about. So this is for setting intentions to grow spiritually and to rise above any self-doubt. So it's very fitting for a full moon to increase the power that you have, but it's also quite good to get to know the shadow self a little bit more, since it's all to do with healing both spiritually and emotionally as well. Now there is a little bit about the timing that's on here, just because it is a lunar eclipse on this full moon. So this is all kinds of shadow selves presenting themselves to you so that you can acknowledge them and deal with them, is probably the best way to put it, really. It's explained a little bit more detail in the ritual worksheet, but that's kind of like the basic overall for you. Items needed are 4 elemental markers, so only 4 that you have lying around. You can use 4 different coloured candles. You can use the 4 that are written in here, which are either a feather or bell for the air element, a candle of some sort for the fire, a small bowl of water for water, and then another bowl of either soil, sand or dirt for earth. Now I'm quite fortunate that I have a bell, a candle, water, and it's actually sand, believe it or not. Is it? No, it's not sand. I was going to use sand. I changed my mind at the last second. Then let me just go through quickly what I've got. Bell is a bell, ring-a-ding-ding. Candle wise, I've just gone with a red candle, fire, red, makes sense. A little jar of water. Please ignore the little label on there. Oh my gosh, I'm spilling it everywhere. Doesn't matter, it's fine. And yes, like I said, I was going to use sand because I do have sand, because I use my cauldron quite a lot and I need that to, stop burning the house down. But I actually instead decided to use my own, oh gosh, I don't think you can see it properly. Whoa, there you go. It's actually black salt, and it is homemade black salt using charcoal, salt and some protective herbs as well. That, herbs are of the earth. It's an earth representation. Don't know what else to tell you. I diverge. Next item is white candle. We have one of those. We have many of those, but I'm using the big pillar one today. Lighter or matches. Of course, we have fire stick. And then a wand to cast the circle, or you can use your finger. As said previously, please don't borrow anyone else's. As much of a fun joke that is, we don't want to be cutting people's fingers off. As with the last time that we needed to do this, I will be using my thing instead, because that is what it is there for. And I still can't find my wand. No idea what I've done with it. It's in a box somewhere, I think. I don't know. We'll find it when we find it. Pen and paper, which you can obviously see here. Now, I've chosen a black pen. It doesn't specify any particular type of pen, but I've gone with black because shadow's black pen. And then cakes and ale. I am still only drinking for these, so this is my ale of choice for today. Altar and circle set up. Of course, I can show you this. Now, you are facing a different way today. You can see the pure chaos that is my desk. There is a lot of shit on it. I don't really know how to explain it, but there's work stuff on there, personal stuff on there, nerd stuff on there, witch stuff on there, and all that kind of stuff. So please kind of just ignore it. We'll tidy it up again at some point, but every time I tidy up it just gets messy again. Anyway, I'll quickly show you the layout. Again, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pick you up and make you all a little bit dizzy for a second. Obviously I have my webcam for the streams and stuff, but I don't really have anywhere good to put it for when I'm doing these tutorials at the moment. We'll figure it out at some point, but for the time being, please bear with me, and I'm sorry. So, oh gosh, sorry guys. There you go. There is, oh my goodness me. There you are. Basic setup there. It's a nice, easy setup for you, so you don't need to worry too much about. Oh my gosh, you're upside down. About putting things in weird places. It's a very simple bell in the east, candle in the south, water in the west, earth in the north. What's that called? White candle at the top, and then everything else just wherever is comfortable. So nice easy layout for us today. We love an easy layout. Okay, so prep. Sorry about the noise, it's quite windy outside today, and the air conditioner is in that window, which is why I usually have you facing that way. But there's our husband over there with a minute. I didn't think he'd appreciate me pointing it that way, so hence this layout instead. But obviously a bit windy, so you're going to hear the occasional gust of wind. Sorry about that. There's not really a lot I can do about it until I get a microphone. What are we doing? Preparation. Okay. Think about your spiritual self and how you have been feeling lately. Consider the things weighing you down or causing you stress. What are the factors in your life that are causing you to delay your joy and spiritual connection? Very important thing we should be doing quite regularly, just in general anyway. With the kind of work that we do, we kind of need to consider how we are connecting to the things that we want to connect. Or if we're not doing that at all, if we're just kind of doing what I used to do and just sort of feeling things out and seeing what works. Either is fine, but if you do have some form of connection to something, it's a good idea to stop and assess where you're at with that, see if you can grow or strengthen the connection, things like that. Since this is a time of reflection, you may be having all sorts of thoughts and weird dreams. Oh, girl, tell me. As these are typical with the influence of Scorpio, they are also creeping in with Pluto retrograde, which we have started. Let's dig in, face the icky stuff, and use our experiences to help us move forward. And with that, we move straight into calling in. No, we don't. We move straight into casting the circle. Can you tell that the little one woke up at 5:30 this morning? Knackered. I have my blade of glory, so to speak, like I said. She is blunt as anything, but if you're using an theme and it's similar to this, although she is blunt, that can still do a fair bit of damage, so please be careful, guys. We don't want any injuries or any of this nonsense. I do still quite like using this because it's good to, you know, extend energy, and it kind of makes me feel a little bit like a badass when I'm holding it as well. Like, don't mess with me. But I'm also extremely clumsy. Once I dropped a slate knife into the floor while carrying it to where we eat our food, and it landed straight up in the floorboard like this, and it was this close to my big toe. I'm not allowed to carry knives into the living room anymore for that reason, so nah, what can you do? Okay, don't be silly with it. Okay, so casting the circle, I'm just going to pop it in here to read so that I can do it properly. With the full moon above you, imagine the moonlight washing over your body, illuminating your skin and blessing you with the light. Allow yourself to be filled with the light of the moon. Imagine the eclipse and the shadow of the earth covering the light of the moon, only to re-emerge, returning to a bright, full glow. Beginning in the east, the direction of inspiration and communication, take your wand or your extended finger or a thing and cast your circle. This is a very nice, simple thing, so there's no specific instructions. The idea is that you can cast your circle however you wish. For me, for instance, I will be arm out straight and be going around once in a full circle clockwise, returning to face the direction that I started in, and when I reach here I will seal it like a zip, like this, because I'm pulling it around me and zipping it shut. And then when it comes to undoing it, I will be undoing the zip, going the other way to open it up. So excuse me 1 second while I just go ahead and do that. Okay, complete. We'll pop her away for later. Calling in the corners. Pick up the feather or bell. Like I said, I have a bell. I don't really like using bells, they're very loud, but I have it. And like I said last time, I don't really know why I have it, so I feel like I should use it because I have it. I don't know. Okay, pick it up. It doesn't say to ring it, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to hold it on my hand like this to prevent any noise. Welcome, element of air. Come to us with your gentle winds that encourage us to move forward, inspired and wiser. I feel like I should ring it. Once is fine. Don't want it to be too loud. Okay. Light your candle. Welcome, element of fire. Come to us with the warmth of the sun, reminding us of our own internal flame. Touch your bowl of water and say, welcome, element of water. Come to us with your cool cleansing pools of energy to cleanse us of impurities that feel stuck to us. And then touch your bowl of salt, sand, dirt, whatever it is that you have of the earth, and say, welcome, element of earth. Join us as we give thanks to the land upon which we stand that offers stability and balance in our lives. Steps 1 and 2 complete. Now we are onto evocation of the guides or deity. I believe that this is Grandmother Moon that we are working with, so we'll be calling out to her. So light the white candle. This may take me a moment. She is deep in. Grandmother Moon. Join me as I set my intentions to connect to my spiritual self. Come to me as maiden to remind me of the love and trust of my childhood self. Come to me as mother to remind me of my own creative force and inspired thought. And come to me as crone to remind me to let go of all the things that no longer serve me. In all your aspects, come to witness and support me as I release the things that hold me back. Walk with me through this journey to encourage me to open up to allow the spiritual connection I seek, while stepping away from the things that make me doubt myself. You will notice I kept hold of her before I popped her down whilst I was reading the verbiage. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's the ADHD dinosaur claw. Who knows? It's just to acknowledge that I'm still speaking to Grandmother Moon in this case. So, we are on to the spell. So I will be switching things around a little bit so I have a bit of room to work. Place your paper in front of you. Done. Starting with the bottom left side, with your pen on the paper, draw a 5-pointed star and circle around it clockwise. When the pentacle has been drawn, verbiage. Now, you're supposed to start in the bottom left corner. This may take me an attempt or two, simply because I usually start with the top left when I draw one. So, excuse me while I just freak out for a second. Perfect, but it'll do. Element of spirit and powers of life, death, and rebirth, guide me to understand the heaviness that surrounds me, the self-doubts I have been feeling, and any lessons I need to learn from these things. I am here for the lesson, and then I wish to be done with these thoughts and feelings. Now at this point, it will be a case to sit with your own brain and your own thoughts. So I will read it verbatim as per usual until we move on to the next step, and obviously in between I will be stopping to do the thing that it tells me to as well. At this time, sit with your own thoughts. What is your relationship with your deities, ancestors or guides? What do you want to bring into your life at this time? Are you holding yourself back? How can your spiritual self help you? Are there things that you are thinking about where you wish you would have said or done something differently? So, regrets. Prepare to close your eyes and consider your inner voice. Take 3 deep, cleansing breaths and allow your body to relax, but still be present. Allow yourself to entertain these thoughts for the closure you need. We have moved away from the situation and any feelings that we carry with us, so we will need to make a note to ourselves about the strength we have and the courage it took for us to do this. Close your eyes for a few minutes. When you open them, write down anything that you are inspired to write. There. 1 second, please. In fact, I'll pause. Okay, section is completed. I have written a few things down in shorthand that you can't understand. Soz, my life. And I'm ready to move on to the next part. So, once you feel connected to your spiritual self once again, I've already done this part off camera, but I'm doing it again so that you can see it. Element of spirit and powers of life, death and rebirth, join me as I set my intentions this full moon. Remind me of the magic I seek and the partnership with the divine, that I wish to be inspired and connected to the heart and wisdom of my guides and my own beliefs. Now we're going to close our eyes again and consider the inner voice. So prepare to close your eyes and consider your inner voice. Take 3 deep cleansing breaths and allow your body to relax. Be still, but be present. Now think of something you love and that brings joy to you. That brings you joy. Same thing, different verbiage. Allow yourself to connect in that moment to what that is. Feel the feeling and relax into it. Close your eyes for a few minutes. When you open them, write down anything that you are inspired to write. Focus on your breathing and the feelings of joy. Think of the abundance that we have in our lives, the things that make us feel so grateful. We want to feel more of that in our day-to-day lives, right? When you are done, put the paper to the side and take 3 more deep cleansing breaths. Okay, so excuse me 1 second. Okay, we are back. I have done the bit that we were supposed to. I have added a few more things at the top there, again in shorthand, in very scruffy writing so that you can't read it, but I know exactly what it says. Okay, so I've done the extra 3 cleansing breaths. I'm going to move my paper to the side now and return this to the middle because it's easier for me to read there. We're on to communion, and there is a specific toast for this one, so we will do this together. Raise your cakes and ale, or just ale in my case, and say, to Grandmother Moon, I drink in your honour. Thank you for guiding me through my shadow work and reminding me that you are always here to support me on my journey and all your favours. May these cakes and ale be blessed. Side note, lemonade and mead. Oh, try it if you're not sure. Go. Anyway, next would be the energy requests as per normal. I won't be reading that because that is something that we do together in general, and it's not something that I specifically need to do when I am on my own. Not that I am. I've got you guys with me and watching, but it feels a little weird. And like I said, I do it every day anyway when I'm doing other things, so I don't feel like I need to do it again now. I'm waffling. Let's unwaffle and continue. Now we're moving on to thanking the guides. We're thanking guides, apparently. The guides or deities. Goodness me. Focus on the Grandmother Moon candle and then verbiage now. with a lot of people, they'll just look at it, read it, look at it, read it, and sort of alternative do that. I like to hold it so that I know that this is what I'm speaking to, essentially. So let's get on with that. Thank you, Grandmother Moon, for guiding us through this journey as we walk through the shadow of our self-doubts from our past, our traumas and darkest moments. You have illuminated all that brings us joy, and we have been reminded to step forward in confidence. We carry our intentions forward and thank you for the powers of transformation. Hail and farewell, Grandmother Moon. Extinguish the candle. Pop it down there. And now we are corner releasing. Okay, so with your finger in the air over your hand-drawn pentacle, please excuse me just 1 second. Did I miss a step? I don't believe I did. Okay, I'll pass it on. What are we doing? So I've completely lost my place now. Okay, so there's a section in here that's saying with your finger in the air over your hand-drawn pentacle, undo the pentacle in the air. However, there was no pentacle drawing in this. So because I didn't draw a pentacle, I don't think I missed a step. I did just have a little look. It might just be an error, a copy and paste one. Maybe when I was putting the sheet together, I just copied the wrong thing, which is very possible, guys. It happens. But because that's not something that I did at the beginning, I'm not doing it at the end either. So instead, hands over the bowl of soil. So I'm skipping that entire two. Please excuse the highlighting bit, it's for personal reasons. I'm skipping this bit and this bit because that's not something I did at the start. So we're going straight onto hands over bowl of soil, sand or dirt. Thank you, powers of the north, for lending me the stability and security to push myself to new heights and experiences. Stay if you will, leave if you must. Farewell, Earth. Hand over the bowl of water and say, thank you, powers of the west, for lending me the healing needed to step forward and feel my spiritual self awaken. Stay if you will, leave if you must. Farewell, water. Hand over the candle, remember, way up here, not down there, way up here. No burning, please. Thank you, powers of the south, for lending me the energy to make the things I want to happen. Stay if you will, leave if you must. Farewell, fire. Extinguish the candle. We've run into another error here, so I'm going to improvise. It says with your hands over the incense and then the verbiage. Obviously we didn't have incense with this one, we have the bell. So I'm going to ring it, read it, and then put it down. And then that will undo what we did at the start. Thank you, powers of the east, for lending me inspired thought and clarity. Stay if you will, leave if you must. Farewell, air. Okay, now we're undoing the circle. So get your finger, wand, a same, stick, broom, whatever you want, whatever you drew it with. You start in the east, you go anti-clockwise. Now obviously at the start of this I zipped. I'm going to unzip it and then so standing facing the east, extend your wand or finger or whatever. Imagine the brightness of the moon as it returns to full after being hidden by the shadow of the earth. Allow that illumination to resonate with you and move counterclockwise to open the circle. And then there's some verbiage, which is the typical verbiage that we usually use, that I will say once I have unzipped it and so, excuse me. The circle is open, but remains unbroken. Oh my goodness, dropping everything today. Okay, ending information. Keep your paper in a safe place or add it to your book of shadows. Pull it out and read through over the next few days, recalling the joy and comfort of your experience during the ritual, and specifically the highlights of the courage and strength you have already shown. So things, yes, that's what this is. No, paper jobby. Got an idea for that. I'm not telling you. Secret. I'll tell you at some point, whatever. Now, I haven't been going through ritual item information, so usually at the end of a ritual there will be a little section called ritual item information, and that tells you what to do with any items either left over, not used, or remnant. So if you have ashes, what to do with them, that kind of thing. This one specifically says to return the water and salt or dirt or sand back to the earth. Water I will do so with. I have a plant that is in desperate need of a drink. The black salt I will be keeping, however, because I use it quite regularly in general. Now, it does also say allow your candle to burn down or pinch the flame and relight it when you need to contemplate your spiritual self and the energy. Obviously, we blew it out as part of releasing the corners, but that bit basically just means that you can relight it and sort of re-contemplate, essentially. So it's not telling you, oh, you've done this wrong. It's just saying that you can relight it if you want to, so that you can, you know, think about stuff. And then it's also got something to do with incense as well, which again is just an error in copy paste, so don't worry about that section there. So overall, guys, a little bit of a clunky ritual there. However, it's not perfect because we are humans and humans make mistakes. These things happen. Now, I very would quickly like to just mention that the August full moon ritual, so this ritual we've just done, will be one of the lives that I am doing. Now, that will be on the 28th of August for me, although technically it's the 29th. I believe it is the 7 p.m. ET slot that I am doing. Which is very late for me, but because it's Friday and I don't work Saturdays anymore, thank goodness, I'm going to stay up and do it with you guys. So if you want to witness that, then please feel free to come along. And as usual, if you have any questions or concerns, anything like that at all, you can email me directly at tmcsyalas for sugar ia@gmail.com. You can email the council directly at tmcscouncilmembers@gmail.com. You can comment on the video down below. You can comment on the the Facebook page, Twitter if need be, or X, whatever it is that's being called these days. I can't keep up with these things. I'm getting old. And like I said, it was a little bit clunky. I'll see if we can potentially edit the printout, essentially, so the ritual in the ritual room. I'll see if we can edit that before it starts, so that you've got a more free-flowing kind of ritual where you're not like, hang on, wait a minute, didn't do that, oh, what do I do? But if that is the case and it can't be edited for whatever reason, you now have a handy dandy guide that can tell you not to panic and what to do instead. So I don't believe there is anything else for me to say. I have another one of these bad boys to prepare for a later date. So with that all said, guys, happy witching.